Carrying on in our discussion of the config editor, this video is going to look at the serial lighting configuration editor. It's just basically an extension of the configuration editor for the main board. I've just broken out the actual serial lighting aspects of it as it makes it easier to see what it is that you're looking at rather than try and cram it all into a tiny box on a screen with a million other boxes. So what we have is we have the 5 flasher output at the top here, and those would be your RGB flashers in a bar attached to the 1 through 15 outputs on the main board at the beginning of the output stack. It's followed by the strobe output, which is output 16, and the undercab lighting, which is following your button lighting in that same progression through the outputs on the main board. When you get into playfield right, playfield left, and your matrix, those would be your serial outputs that you've added to the data channels at the bottom of the board. So those would be your side strips, your matrix, and then 5, 6, 7 are the open channels for things like speakers, or if you're using undercab lighting that's serially controlled using serial addressable LEDs. That sort of thing goes down in this corner. Now, basically, what I've done is transposed what I could from the existing setups in the online config tool. So your 5 flasher output, which is this area up here, that's a direct copy and paste of the flasher MX that you would get in a direct output 30 file from the online config tool. Same with the strobes, and your side strips are a combination of effects, basically your side flasher effects, your side strip effects, and I've combined in some matrix back effects into the side strips as well, just to give them a bit more activity. And then your matrix, of course, it's set up to be the standard matrix outputs from the config 30 file from the online config tool. The undercab lighting is a combination of playfield, or not playfield, but undercab lighting effects, but I chose the MX effects, and it gives it a bit more activity than just the standard turn on the undercab and show one light. Now, when it comes to the side boxes, and we'll load Medieval Madness here just because it happens to be one that I added some custom effects to. These boxes to the side where it says custom effects are where you can put in additional effects that you want to create or you want to copy from somebody else and tie into the existing side strip effects. They would just be a copy and paste from wherever it is that you found them. These boxes are all directly editable, and when you edit these boxes, you are editing the data that is in your database directly. Making a change in here, once again, would involve entering your information into the box in the appropriate spot, and then when you are done, you would do the retrieve data, save data button. If there was a change made, you'd be presented with the same pop-up as in the previous screen, asking if you want to save your changes. You click yes, and you save the data to the database for that table location. Any changes that you've made then, of course, have to be imported into the file generation tool, and at that point, you'd be able to generate your config file. That's basically it for how this editor works. There's nothing fancy about it. it's just a little easier to see the information in this than it is if I was to rely solely on the previous screen, which is the main board configuration screen. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll be back with another video shortly.